everyone, welcome back to another video. This is my third time trying to record this audio because the first time I lost track of what I was saying so often that I had to restart because it was such a train wreck, and the second time I got 3 minutes in and then my dad started vacuuming, and our vacuum cleaner first of all is so loud and second of all is the worst thing ever, and it's kind of broken, so when you use it, it makes a really loud sound as it tries to suck everything up, and then it stops and it goes quiet and then it does that and then and it's the worst sound, and it was in the background for a minute before I was oh whatever, I'll just wait till he's done. Okay, god, I'm a mess. Okay, this is a redraw of an old picture. I say it's old, it's only 10 months old, I checked, because that's when I posted the YouTube video. This was one of the earlier speed paints I did with a commentary, which is interesting. I think I just talked about my art process, which was dumb. I don't have a consistent style, ever, really. I don't have one right now. I tried some weird stuff in this one, and I certainly didn't have one then, so I don't know why I tried to talk about my art process, but I did, and it was probably really boring and not fun to listen to. Yeah, so I'm redrawing it because it's just some cute bisexual fluff. So it's Miiko and Calder. Miiko's the one with wings, and Calder's the one with flowers. Miiko, in the last one, I also remembered to draw his wings this time, as if you watch the old one, and I don't recommend to do, I fully finished the picture, okay, I'm done, and then it pops back on screen and it's guess who forgot to draw the wings? And I draw them really badly because I don't know how to draw wings, and I still don't, but I at least have the decency to make it look like I do, you know? I have a little bit more of an idea, as opposed to just drawing a block and then squiggles, which is how I drew them in the old one. And then I had to screw around with the lighting a bit, but yeah. So I don't remember when I think the last time I talked about these characters and their story was probably in the Pride picture I did, and since then there's been some developments in their story, so I don't remember how much I said or how far I was in development then, but the story now is in modern day, it's humans mostly are developing magical technology. It's really cool. Calder's arm, the wooden one that's completely covered in flowers, that's up in this one, not holding Miiko's hand, is, you'll see it especially when I start colouring it, is wooden and it's magic, though there are some risks to magical technology like that, because it was the reason why he randomly grew flowers everywhere, because the nature magic in the thing reacted with his nature magic, and you can't really predict what will happen when that happens, and for him it just made a kind of explosion of flowers. There were originally no flowers on it, and it kind of started growing flowers everywhere, which wasn't too fun. He got really sick, and then they were worried that it was gonna the flowers, because they were spreading from his arm, and they started going up his face, and they were worried they might cover him, but it's fine because he didn't die. I also forgot to draw half the flowers on him until I started shading, I think. So that was fun. Also, this picture took me almost 4 hours. Did I mention that? I don't think I mentioned that. I should probably mention that. It took me 4 hours, almost. But yeah, so magical technology is a thing. It's kind of new and slightly dangerous, but it's also useful, and people are finding new ways to utilize it. However, there started to be signs of some disaster, or it's sort of small, oh no, crops are failing, but in some places crops are really good, and no one really knows why, and there seems to be weird magic stuff happening, and some people are worried because it almost looks what is happening is that an apocalypse is coming, and it's the same one that happened several thousand years ago that people know quite well, because it's known the extinction of the dinosaurs almost, in how people what the hell happened, you know, or god, what must that have been in the way that there are records from it afterwards from the survivors, but people reckon it's it was passed down through folklore until people because the records are like about 100 or so years afterwards, usually, so it's not like super reputable, but the stories are like things like the Earth's core like bubbling up to the surface and being spat out onto land, and the seas boiling and turning to steam, the stars falling from the sky, and entire mountains like breaking into pieces and flattening entire like cities, and in some places all of the plants died and left a barren wasteland, and in other places they grew so fast and so quickly that people got trapped, and it formed like an impenetrable wall of just like bushes and tangled vines. So, and at some point everything kind of went back to normal. People don't really know, but yeah, so that's happening again, and of course, since this is a story that I've made, a bunch of stupid gay, probably, I mean, I've forgotten how old all the characters are. Some of them are literal children, or well, like 15, so like my age. I'm legally a child. I think wait, how old is Rowan? He might be 14, I don't remember. He's like a baby. I say that he's my age. He's the only character who's like roughly my age. But yeah, have to save the world because no one else is gonna do it apparently, because plot reasons. But yeah, so I actually finally came up with a name for whatever the hell Miiko is, which is literally just bird folk. I shouldn't come up with fancy names for things, it should just be bird folk. So, okay. I really like how the story is like coming out now. I like it. It's like I actually came up with a reason as to why the apocalypse happened and like why everything went so downhill so quickly, which is good, because before it was just like, there was an apocalypse and they think it's happening again, but I don't know why that apocalypse happened, so I was just like, so they have to stop it somehow? But yeah, now there's like an actual like solid reason as to why it happened. But yeah, God, it's actually like you can like tell, like I want to tell like this story, but also like I love the characters, and one of my favorite things to do with characters is like just imagine them in like sweet domestic settings. Like Miiko works in a library, and can you just imagine like him and Calder just meeting up and just reading in silence and just kind of sitting and being quietly intimate? Yes, 10 out of 10. Good idea. That should just be the entire thing. That's the whole story. I'm not going to tell the story about the end of the world. It's just going to be these two dorks reading books together. And Adriana and Rowan being amazing. And Caradwen, like... Also, I made Caradwen Calder's cousin. I probably should mention that. They're cousins now. Like, meet up and, like, talk about family stuff. Yes, it's good. Unfortunately, that's, like, not a super compelling story. Well, I mean, I think it's compelling, but I should, right, I'll make this story and then I'll write fan fiction for it. I really hope you can't hear the vacuum cleaner in the background, but I think you might be able to, but I'm not going to record this audio again, so suck it. Yes. God. You can tell I'm very out of practice with this voice. I'm actually going to scream. Why does our vacuum cleaner do this? I hate it. I don't know whether I just sound crazy or like you can actually hear the vacuum cleaner in the background, but it's oh my fucking God. I hate it. I hate it so much. I actually want it gone. I would prefer to like hand do to like clean the entire house by hand than have to listen to this thing. It broke within like 2 months of us getting it. I'm so tired. Okay, I think they're done vacuuming. At least, well, they're vacuuming downstairs, but it's not going on right next to my bedroom door. Okay, where was I? I don't remember where I was. Okay. God, you can tell that I'm out of practice with voiceovers, because I don't know whether I was in practice with them either. God, how the hell do people do voiceovers just off the top of their head? God. I used to try and make scripts for voiceovers, but I never liked them, and also it just evolved into like memes. Like I'd write like something in the script and it would just be like I'd write like a note that just made me laugh, but I wouldn't be able to say it out loud without like laughing, or like I'd say it out loud and be like, oh, that's dumb, and I would never be able to like read it and also watch a video at the same time, and it wasn't fun. Oh, and also, you wanna know a problem I had with this picture? Doing coloured line art over the top of gradient clothes is very difficult. Thanks, Miiko. Why the hell did I design you this way? Ugh, God. But I mean, they look cool, so like, there's not much I can do about that, is there? I also gave him a necklace that I forgot to do the line art for in the beginning, but and I did the chain in a really weird way because I just like used a normal brush but like made the brush spacing really big, but it's kind of interesting because I think I started paying more attention to like religion in stories once I started taking religious studies for GCSEs, but it's interesting because the vacuum's back again. It's interesting because I've started thinking about like because in this world there are no like gods that actually, I know, like it's not like what am I calling it now? I don't think I've stopped calling it Springs of Eden, even though that has no relevance to the story. But in another one of my stories, Springs of Eden, the gods definitely 100% do exist. Like there's evidence of them like coming down and like doing shit, especially like in the past. And so people just believe in those gods. But in this universe, and also, I've forgotten if Third Time's a Charm has got. I'm working on Third Time's a Charm right now. I haven't worked on like the spirit aspect of it in a while, but yeah. But it's interesting because in this one there are no like set gods, and so I get to play around with religion a lot more, and I'm creating like 2 whole entire religions, which takes a lot more time than you think, maybe. But Miiko is part of a religion, and I always forget what I call it, so I'm not gonna even attempt that. But it like has 3 goddesses and they represent everything, but the crescent moon is well, because their names are like too sacred to like say outside of like a very like I don't know, like outside of like a sacred place, like I don't know what I'm calling that place of worship. I'm just gonna refer to it as a temple for now. Like outside of like a temple or something, or like in prayer, you're not supposed to say their names. It's like a huge sign of disrespect, and so you refer to like them as something that they not something they represent, something that's like create something that's like theirs, you know, like oh yeah, and the 3 goddesses are sisters, so like there's the younger sister, the middle sister, and the oldest sister, and they have true names and then they're associated with different things. So like the oldest sister is associated with winter, the youngest sister spring, and the middle sister the youngest sister summer, and the middle sister spring and autumn, because that's like the transition. But the most common way, and like if you're just like randomly talking about them, you'd probably refer to them as this, is like the sun, moon, and stars. Sun being the youngest, stars being the middlest, and the moon being the eldest. And Miiko carries around the crescent moon as like a symbol of the oldest sister, who's... Ooh, door opened. It's kind of interesting the way I think about it, because people view the oldest sister, like if they're not a part of that religion and don't really understand it, as like they try and like attribute her like a grim reaper kind of thing and make her like darker, and sometimes almost make her like evil if they don't understand her, because she represents like endings and cold, and definitely seems like the most distant, but like endings aren't bad. And of course, like in that religion, it's not like it's the end of your life, but that means you enter the afterlife and then you eventually come back after a bit, maybe, sometimes, it depends. It's a long story, and I'm still working on it, and I don't have notes with me right now. But and she's definitely the one that Miiko kind of identifies the most with, in terms of the way that she's like in like stories. So like, I mean, that's a pretty common thing. The video is kind of coming to an end, and I need to go because family has just arrived. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, comment, whatever. I hope you'll have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.